Moose, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Moose.
What's up, guys? Grateful to be here. Grateful to be above ground, sucking air and sober. Welcome back to Kevin, the Recovery Buddha. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, what's happening?
Not much, man.
Glad to be back.
Glad you're here. My beautiful wife, Ashlie. What's up, Ashlie?
Hello.
She's like, I'm going to say it with my chest.
Hey, Ashlie.
Thanks, Kev.
And Alexander Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, I'm never coming back. Last time you guys didn't say
Bro.
Tricked them.
Bro, you look
Right.
like a Renaissance figure. Like,
No, I could see Alexander Hamilton. For
Hamilton.
Real.
yeah.
That guy that plays him.
Lin-Manuel.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome back
Thank
to
you.
Uncle Baby Billy.
That's what I meant.
Uncle Baby Billy. What's up, Unc?
I mean, now I know what you're talking about, but I'm still not exactly cool with it. What's happening? How you doing?
Uncle Baby Billy has beautiful hair too, bro.
He does. I'll admit that.
Yeah. You know, it's not a common move though for a man to have such long, luxurious hair these days. Is it a Mexican thing or did you say you're not Mexican?
I am.
You're Mexican. Okay.
I am Mexican.
Is it
kind of actually
more cultural?
It's a like Northwest Side scumbag Latino thing for
Is
Chicago. It kind of is. Also, people think I'm from Cicero, which is another like scumbag town. Shout out Cicero. But yeah, it is kind of a
Glad you're here, dude. It's always
Thanks.
a fun time having you here. How long you been sober again?
same. So October 3rd, God willing, you know, I mean, no fronts, right? But October 3rd will be 7 years.
Dude, awesome. So you're
Right
right.
on, man.
You're right there. Kevin, you got what? 18 years?
16.
16.
But I moved like I got 18.
See, I got sober in dog years, bro. So I'm at like 39 years or something like that. I don't know.
Holy cow.
And Ashley's going to hit 11 years this month.
Oh, that's
On
dope.
19.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So a lot of long-term sobriety
Yeah.
here on the podcast.
Yeah, right here in the room, what do we got? A total of, 50 years.
You count my dog
I
years.
dropped out. I don't
Your
know
dog
about
years
that.
puts us up to
Like 75
wow.
years sober
Yeah,
in this
kicking
room
butt.
right here.
Got sober in the year of the dog. Racking them up.
If we
Like a
ask-
dog. Like a dog.
I don't get the reference, but I'll laugh.
It's Trump.
Oh.
He's like, we went in Abdul Baghdadi. We went in it there. He was begging like a dog. A dog like a dog.
Okay.
That's actually Shane Gillis impersonating Trump.
Right.
Shane
layers
Gillis
to this one.
impersonating
Yeah.
Trump and me impersonating that. I don't remember what he said. I just remember like a dog.
Who's the guy that does the little advertisements for the company in China?
Oh my
know.
gosh,
Seen
that is so
He's like,
funny.
China. He doesn't
But I
know.
think he's like actually Chinese. Like he's
Yeah, he's really
so
Chinese.
funny.
Yeah, he's a Chinese guy. He does them for China. You know, China. He's got the big hair on.
Yeah.
Great
And then
advertising.
he advertises these signs, like
The neon signs. I know exactly. His name's
He's
Tony.
hilarious, though.
His
Yeah.
name's Tony.
Yeah,
It's Tony.
Yeah, he's funny.
Ah, that's funny.
Oh, man.
So today's what we're talking about today is 6, 7.
6, 7.
Step 6 and 7, huh?
As the kids say, hey kids. How do you do, fellow kids? 6, 7. Cadence, you out there? Do you watch this?
That's
my niece.
Maddie. Yeah, Maddie, what's up?
That's your dog, Maddie.
That's my daughter, Maddie.
She's 13.
Maddie
Maddie, what's
baby.
up? 6, 7, 6, 7.
I don't know what kind of crazy hand signs you kids are doing nowadays, but
My niece Cadence said that all the kids in 9th grade walk around all day saying 6, 7, 6, 7. And I just thought it's really cool that many kids are taking their step work very seriously,
right.
Yeah.
working on their character defects.
Yeah.
and
They didn't even have
shortcomings.
alcohol problems. They're already at the defects. They're working on the defects before they even get to the alcohol problem.
Oh, hell yeah.
that.
Class of 2029.
That's
We're
the way
proud of
do
you.
it. That's the way you do it. You get it. Yeah.
Right.
Catch it early. I wish I got it at your age.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that really is at the core of it, right? Like the
Yeah.
ways that we act, which make, you know what I mean, which we then hold on to the memories of and make us more and more sick. And I feel like I have to drink
Yeah.
or use something, right? So good on them.
So if you haven't listened to the other steps, you know, you can go back and listen to those episodes. We kind of walk through the steps. And we talk about them. We try to talk about them in ways it's not just something you would hear at just any other meeting. Just having real discussions about it, trying to hash it out a little bit. If you're reading steps 6 and 7 in the big book, it's like the shortest set of directions there is. It's just 2 paragraphs. But steps 6 and 7 are about your character defects and shortcomings. Have you been taught the difference of character defects and shortcomings?
I mean, not necessarily taught. I mean, just kind of on my own, I've kind of figured that like character defects are like, those like pieces of me that when put into action or practice like lead to my shortcomings.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that makes sense to you. That makes
sense. No, that does. I like that. I was told that Bill Wilson, who wrote the steps,
just didn't
want to end 2 steps with the same word. And he's like, it's the same thing.
He sat up for 3 nights.
Just like racking his mind.
Between crying and
I heard
taking
he was
acid.
sweating blood as he prayed over it.
Oh my God.
And then finally.
Yeah, I heard he didn't want to do 11 steps.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so they wanted, 11, it doesn't sound right. 12 sounds better, so he made 6 and 7. That's a rumor. I don't know. Is it in a book somewhere? I don't know if this is in Pass It On, maybe. Does he say something about this? I'm not sure. But supposedly, like, he made 6 and 7 to make, because he knew it was going to be 12 steps. Supposedly. I don't know, right?
I hear a lot of crazy.
I did hear someone say a difference between defects of character and shortcomings once. We're like,
talking to the mic.
This is a guy who subscribes and watches all the videos and always thumbs up. Dan, I heard him say at a meeting one time, and shout out to Dan. He's a good guy, but Dan S.
But you only said it once, so
yeah,
can we trust it?
So yeah, Dan S. Good guy. Dan S. Good guy. Dan S. Good. You know who you are.
You got to double up on the good guy,
right?
But he said he's like. Defects of character are like, okay, maybe I'm controlling, right? And I'm in a relationship with this girl. I'm 15, 16 years old. It's my first, like, romantic relationship, right? But I want to know where she's at, who she's hanging out with, where she's going, what she's doing, every week. I'm trying to control that relationship. And then maybe it goes on for a little bit, but eventually she breaks up with me because I'm too controlling. And I get in another relationship, and instead of being less controlling, I become more controlling because I feel like the last relationship got out of control. Obviously, it came to an end, right? So I try even harder. So I go in on the wrong thing. Like he said, that was a defect of character. But then, like a shortcoming, though, was like maybe, maybe one area, like, okay, you come to my job and I'm like employee of the month. Like my face is on the wall 3 months in a row, employee of the month. I can work circles around people. I show up early. I stay late. I never ask to leave early. I learn all the stuff they want me to learn. I go above and beyond. I'm doing way more than anybody else and just, not taking as many breaks and all that kind of stuff, whatever it may be. I become just the greatest employee in the world. They're like, man, this guy is just the best guy we've ever hired, right? But then you come to my house and trash all over the place, dishes haven't been done, clothes all over the floor and towels and newspapers and empty freaking cans and whatnot, cigarette butts, whatever may be going. My whole life's falling apart outside of that place. Those are my shortcomings, where I fall short in other areas because I'm putting so much emphasis into one area. That's what he said.
That's interesting.
But I always thought, man, that's getting there. At least that's close.
Yeah. I don't think there's any problem with making it 2 things, except that one, you're asking for willingness to get rid of the same thing in the next step, But did you get the information?
AI, which can we really trust it? I don't know. It basically says what you had said, Billy, that character defects are like bigger and like flaws like dishonesty or selfishness, whereas shortcomings imply less severe personal limitations such as being forgetful or unorganized.
That's just the robots trying to destroy us with bad information.
Yeah. Godless robots.
Clunkers.
Yeah.
But I know step 6, the step that separates the men from the boys.
That's what the 12 and 12 says.
Kevin looking at the camera.
Right.
Separates the men from the boys.
Just flexes. Right?
No, I don't know. It's like, I'll tell you what. I think step 6 and step 7, but step 6 I think it's one of the hardest steps. I think that is the step. There's more growth in that step than I think any of the other steps. I mean, to drink, to deal with emotional issues for an alcoholic, that's a defect of character. And that's a defect that gets me in the door. So when we start to correct that defect, then I start looking at all the other defects when I get to step 6, right? So I think I don't know. I think that's one of the most important steps. I think it's also one of the most misunderstood steps.
Yeah, it becomes something that people argue about a lot because some people are like, nope, you only do this one time. This is just praying for willingness. Simple one time praying for willingness and you move on. That's it. Some people think it's, read the book, Drop the Rock. That's really popular and that's actually a really good book. It's, that's the irony poisoning that, so many people make fun of something or so many people do something that it becomes a cliche, but it's a really good book. You don't think it's a good book?
I wouldn't read it.
Have you read it?
I would not.
So you're just a hater and you don't even know how fire
Contempt
it is.
prior to investigation, absolutely.
You're contempted. You're like, this is beyond the big book. Irrelevant.
One of the things though is like, I think when people try to like force God to remove certain character defects before they actually like make their life uncomfortable by using them, they're using like self-will to try and tell God how to like make them perfect. And I think that is like our attempt to avoid like the humility that's gained by being a human, which I always will be, right? Like, so I don't know. I have a lot of feelings on 6 and 7.
Yeah. So the way that we worked it, the way that I worked step 6, as soon as I was done with my 5th step, we, in my 4th column of the 4th step, you're kind of putting down, like you're looking at your part, but part of your part is what your character defects are.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we made a list, and I had so many of them, but we wrote them on poker chips, the character defects.
Yeah.
This is where like the AA purists are like, you piece of crap.
I love stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a drop the rock idea, isn't it?
I don't remember seeing that in there. Someone told me it is.
That's where the list is.
So
that's where the list is, where the defect and you write one side on the poker chip, you write the defect, and you write the opposite.
Yeah.
That list is in Drop the Rock.
So you're missing out, bro.
It's got both sides of the list.
I read the book, and I don't remember seeing
I'm not
that.
saying I agree with it.
But I am able to read multiple pages of a book and just miss out on a bunch of the book.
Okay.
Like, I read 3 pages. I don't know where I stopped paying attention, but I've been reading.
just associated with it.
So
he says it's good. He's
Right.
Yeah, it's great. I don't remember any of it. No, but I wrote all the character defects on poker chips, and then on the opposite side, you write the opposite side of your character defect. So if you wrote dishonest, on the opposite side, you'd write honest.
Yeah.
And, the way it was explained to me is you can't get rid of a character defect without replacing it with its opposite. So it even says in the big book, faith without works is dead. So I have faith that God's going to remove these from me, but I have to put in my own work on it. So whereas I count on God to do for me what I'm not able to do, there's still a part that I can do myself. So the first part of 6 is willingness. So we would draw 5 chips every day and just pray for the willingness to get rid of those character defects. And I'm trying to be aware throughout the day how those character defects work in my life. Okay. And what's crazy is like a lot of character defects or even the opposite of them, you don't even realize the meaning of these things until you have some time in recovery. Like, to me, honesty just meant telling the truth. Like, if as long as I don't lie, I'm being honest. It's like, no, man, honesty is like a way of life. there's so much more to living an honest life than just telling the truth. What do I do when I'm at work? How do I earn my money? How do I go about that? How do I treat the people in my life? So I have to practice being honest to get rid of dishonesty. I don't stop being resentful without becoming forgiving. It just, resentment does not disappear without forgiveness. So so I still actually have the chips from whenever I did that. All those chips.
He's still working on it.
Yeah, still working on it. So riddled with. I am still working.
I know.
She's like,
They're not saints. Yeah.
She's like, I done got rid of all those years ago. This guy
relate.
still working. Yeah. No, yeah, I got to step 6 and 7. I'm like, character defects. Can't
No.
relate. Next step, please.
Just kind of start levitating. Yeah, exactly.
My sponsor had me look at my 5th step and look at the people that I had wrote down, and she gave me a list. It was a very long list, and she said, write out what you think that these people had as defects, and then she's like, then we'll come back. And in the midst of doing that, I started to realize that everything that I was putting down for them is something that I was actually doing or had in that situation. And so I called her crying in the middle of it, and she's like, good job. This is the whole point of the thing, is to see your part and where you were blaming other people for having those issues. So we didn't do the chips in Florida. We did that. It was good.
I love the chips. I know it's not in the book, but it's like, I love coins. I love AA coins. I love my anniversary coins. I just love them. I love little mile markers of recovery. And the chips are like a mile marker of step work. Like, this was it's now a point in time I can look back on. I have something real that I can hold. It's like, this was that point in my life that I was right in the middle of my step work.
Oh, I feel you. My 6 and 7, like you had talked about, like the big book purists.
Like, I did mine the right way, but
I mean no. See, this is why I like hearing the poker chip thing, because when I came in, there was definitely this like, oh, well, everyone else is doing it wrong or whatever. But then I see the way that God's working in other people's life. Like, God's not gonna be like, oh, well, you wrote it on a poker chip, so you're gonna be drinking again in a year. You know what I mean? That's not how God works. So it's interesting to hear these different stories of how people do this stuff and how it's still like, is a thing in their lives. Like, mine was because it all goes back to like the 5th step, right? And every time I'm going through something, I think I might have talked to you about this before. Like, my sponsor, like anything that I went and said on my 5th step, my sponsor's like, okay, well, whose will were you following, yours or God's, right? And just like that was just the theme overall. So like, I didn't get like a list of character defects. It was just made very clear to me that I play God in every situation of my life, and because I didn't have like a list or like specific guidelines, it was just watch for when you're playing God, that I started like doing that more and more, and it was just like, read the paragraph, you know what I mean? For step 6 anyway, because that's like, it says like, when I had to pull it up because I feel like we can't really talk about it without pulling it up, but it says, are we now ready to let God remove all the things all the things which we have admitted are objectionable, right? And like, what it's saying there is like, I have to admit that they're objectionable, and in order to admit that they're objectionable, I have to have used them, and then seen the negative results of using them, right? So this is everything that we're acknowledging after we've gone through the 5th step of all the different ways that I've played God. And now I can say for sure the ones that I've already used and have messed up and give myself a hard time, those are the ones I want God to remove for sure. I don't know how they're going to show up in the future, right? But now that I have these like parameters, you know what I mean, based on my own experiences, that's why it's like, all right, okay, now I'm actually willing, right? And of course, there's certain things that maybe I'm not able to like see that I was wrong in or whatever, but like, it's the willingness that's key, right? That willingness to grow to God. And so mine was just like, okay, watch where you've been playing God, and say the prayer, and do that part.
That's really good. I like that. I was in a meeting recently. We were talking about the 5th step, and it was Joe and Charlie meeting, and they were reading out of a different book, and it's, I guess, Joe wrote it, and it's the breaking down of the steps, but it's kind of a long chapter about step 5, and basically just over and over just saying that you're selfish. And that's really what you're seeing in step 5, is just how your selfishness is popping up, and like that's why we're all here, and then what you said, like just looking at where I was trying to play God because I'm selfish and I think that I have all the answers and I'm right and you're wrong. I'm big and you're little.
No, Matilda.
Yes, thanks, Matilda. All right, before we jump back into the episode, let's give a shout out to the crew that keeps the Dank Recovery Podcast rolling, Asphalt Services LLC. These guys do it all. Churches, HOAs, tennis courts, pickleball courts, general contracting, you name it, they can handle it. If it's asphalt, they've got you covered. And now they're taking it even further with their brand new concrete division. So whether you need asphalt or concrete, they've got the tools and the talent to get it done right. Driveways, parking lots, sidewalks, they'll take care of it. The three owners have over 100 years of combined experience. So if you're in the greater St. Louis area and you need something fixed, paved, coated, striped, or poured, call Mike at 636-293-9244 or go to asphalt-services.com and make sure you tell them the Dank Recovery Podcast sent you.
I like the 12 and 12. I like step 6 and 7 and the 12 and 12 especially though. Like, I mean, when I take a guy through the book, when we got to step 6, we would go to the 12 and 12 and read step 6 out of the 12 and 12 as well. There's like something going on.
Those are my character defects running around.
Nice. But
I rebuke that.
I wish, I'm watching Family Feud and I say a prayer and then my defects are gone and I treat everybody the right way. But, and it just never, it doesn't work out like that necessarily. I think kind of like, it has a lot to do with the 5th step, but I think also it's a matter of just being ready to do whatever things come your way to be revealed in some kind of way. I mean, I had 2 people show up in my life that ended up each giving me a book eventually, and one of the book was on relationships and one of the books was on physical health. It was like physical fitness. And but there was those coincidences we were talking about in the last podcast, those moments where something higher is intervening. Both of these books came to me through those kind of things where it's like, wow, I just kind of landed on this. This is wild. And it kind of became, pretty clear to me that my biggest defects of character had a lot to do with how I was living and how I was treating other people. And in those books were my first kind of thing that I could dive into. That became some of the work. Because I think I said it before, it's like I could work on an alcohol and drug problem, but eventually I pay the money back. Eventually I clean the house up. Eventually I don't have any more warrants out for my arrest. Eventually I walk the probation down. But then there's more work, and I think that it's different for everybody. I don't think it's the same for me as it is for you, as it is for Ashlie, as it is for Billy or anyone else. I think we all kind of have different things that show up in our lives. Those are the 2 things that showed up in my lives. But some of my biggest defects of character though were with, resentments towards women. And the books that showed up on relationships really helped me work on that resentment. And a lot of the defects were in there too. The neediness, the jealousy, there were so many defects that were in that piece of literature that I read, that I had to address in order to make some changes. And then the same thing, like my slothfulness, my laziness, my friggin' all that. Like I read this book on physical health, and I mean, it taught me how to lift weights, how to work out. But it was unique. It was to me. It was what I needed in order to start changing who I was and how I was treating other people and how I was acting and whatnot. So, I think God shows up and does remove defects of character, but it's with my work. I have to do the work, God shows up in the form of hard work.
I was thinking about, like, as I'm getting sober, I felt conviction about obviously drinking and using, obviously conviction about lying, and started to see the freedom of letting go of resentments, but there's just a lot of stuff that over time, it had they weighed on me early on, it might have broke me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard someone say in a meeting once, I've been in one relationship with 10 different people. It's like I'm in this same relationship pattern over and over and over. And at some point, I have to say,
I'm the common denominator.
it's me. Yeah. It's not them. It's me.
Yeah.
And then once you have to look at that, that's hard because you've had a narrative for all these 10 relationships that, no, this one did this and this one did this, and all I've done is just smother them with love, and then they cheat on me or they do this or they do that. And it's like, and why does this honeymoon phase go away? And when will I meet the right one? It's like, dude, it's you. You suck. You're not a good partner. You're a loser, actually. You turn yourself into a doormat and you get treated like one. And you wonder why this happened. It's like, that is a hard pill to swallow. Or my character defect of wanting a partner so bad that I'm willing to settle for anything. I'm willing to, you only have 3 months sober and you're on probation. You're wearing an ankle monitor, you know.
Do you need somewhere to live?
Yeah. And it's like,
me.
But I don't see that as my character defects.
Yeah.
I was willing to take a chance on you when you were a loser and you still cheated on me? Unbelievable. I can't believe this. It's like, no, that's my character defects. And then, so it's like, then I heard someone, this kind of going off on a tangent a little bit, but it's like, would you rather have $1 now or $10 in 30 days? Would you take $5 to, like, what would be the level that you'd settle on today versus what you'd be willing to wait for in the future? And that tells you how insecure you are. Are you willing to take this girl on Suboxone on drug court today?
Always coming back to Suboxone.
Not one.
The worst people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I either heard Hitler was on Suboxone.
This is true, yeah.
It is. It's facts. Check it. Fact check that. I may be wrong. I'm willing to admit that. Anyway, but it's like, am I willing to date her today, or am I willing to wait till I find the partner that doesn't have all these deal breakers and red flags? I'm not even willing in early recovery. I'm not even willing to ask myself those questions. I just know I need to stop shooting dope and.
Yeah, I don't know that I need to ask myself those questions.
Depends if you're ready to jump in a relationship.
But that's what I mean though. Like I don't see all the the things that are like glaringly obvious to everyone else in the beginning. And I said this thing, and I've heard somebody else say it, that they were like, "You kill the alligator closest to the boat," which was like, and then everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" But it's like, what's causing me the most amount of harm right now, right? And when I'm a heroin addict, it doesn't matter that I'm a terrible partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I worry about that after the fact, right? Once I get sober, now I've got the opportunity to look at all the smaller things. You know what I mean? And as I spend more time sober, I feel the discomfort from those little things. I gain a sensitivity to the discomfort after I've cleared away the things that block me off from feeling that presence of God. Right? Because when I'm feeling that presence of God and everything's good, I'm sensitive to all the little stuff. I told a friend, she was like, "What'd you have for lunch?" It was half a pack of crackers. And then I'm it was actually 3/4 of a pack. And I don't know why I felt really bad about lying that it was a half a pack of crackers, but that was something that made me uncomfortable at that point. I'm like, man, maybe I need to not embellish my stories so much. You know what I mean? For comedic effect or whatever. And I still do it, but but that's the kind of thing where it's I feel sensitive to when I'm using character defects, but that only occurs after I've actually cleared that channel to God and actually can feel that presence and have that that God consciousness, right? Because otherwise, like you were saying, I'm holding on to all of these things, right? That builds up the person that I need to be in order to get through the situations that I've placed myself in. So when I clear those things away, I'm no longer viewing the world through this filter of resentment and experiences that I was trying to manage using self-will, and I can actually feel that and then move accordingly. But I have to be like clear of that, so I can actually feel bad for lying about eating half a pack of crackers, or
Right.
you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
a silly thing. I would not have worried about that when I'm like strung out.
Yeah, that's,
You know?
yeah, that's so good. It's like I surrendered to the alcohol problem, and then solutions showed up. Some solutions were just drink on Fridays, and I tried those solutions. I exhausted all these solutions. But when I surrendered to the alcohol and the right solution showed up, I took the right solution, and then I surrendered to that whole process. I found a higher power that could get me through that situation. Then I get the alcohol. So I get the alcohol out of the picture for a while, long enough for my head to kind of clear up and be able to look at the wreckage I've created, right? And then I do a fourth and fifth step. I get all that out on the table. And by the time I make it to the sixth step, I mean, me personally, I know some people go through the steps faster, but I think you can rework them and rework them, right? But by the time I get to this point where I'm really ready to work on this other stuff, the alcohol problem's pretty much non-existent in my life. I mean, I am an alcoholic. I can't drink safely at all, but I'm at a point now where maybe I can look at relationships. Maybe I can start looking at other stuff. And then the book says the 12 and 12. It's in the 12 and 12, but it says you can go back and surrender again. It's like I take that defect and I first step it. I surrender. Okay, obviously I'm a controlling person. Obviously I have some sort of jealousy issues or whatnot, right? And I can't wait. I want immediate gratification. I can surrender those defects the same way I surrendered that first defect, which was the alcohol. I can get God involved, get a higher power involved. I can do inventories. I can do more inventories, but specific to those issues, which for me, that came in the form of a couple books.
That's good.
Here's what the book says on how to get in better shape, and I'm sitting there looking, I'm eating McDonald's while I'm reading the book that says you should be eating salads, right? It's like, okay, this is making sense. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I should probably be doing instead. The defect's not been removed, but and I think that's still. So I don't mean to be too long-winded, but that's still kind of on a macro level. Where when you've been around for 15 years, when you've been around 10 years, well, you already, you got those things, a lot of those surface level defects that you've got that in order. Now I'm looking at stuff like, now I'm digging for stuff. Now I'm looking at real deep stuff you didn't notice as much. Like maybe the way I want attention in certain ways, so I dive into people's conversations even though I'm not invited, right? And the thing about the defect, I heard people in 12-step meetings talk about this, like now I get to see myself behaving in these ways that are objectionable. Like you notice the defect, but that don't mean it goes away, It's like now I see myself acting this, and this is where I'm going to need some help.
Yeah, I talk about a lot with people about there's a lot of 6 and 7 issues that rise up and become step 1 issues, and you have to diagnose them and get to the bottom of it. But I like what you said about getting to a point where it's like now I'm looking for it. And I heard someone say there's 3 phases to a relationship with God. Phase 1 is give me, like I need help. Yeah. And I feel like God is faithful in that phase. He gives you the help you need. And then phase 2 is use me. Like, oh man, what's happened in my life is incredible. I want to be a part of having that happen for other people. And then the third phase is search me. Man, I'm free. I've gotten everything that I wanted. I am helpful to other people. Now I just want to see how free I can possibly be. What else is in me that could go away? And there's really and then it's what's really crazy about character defects though is they use a comparison. It's like whack-a-mole, you know, that you hit it and then another one pops up, but it gets to a point where it really does morph on you a lot, because it's like I have found such a freedom in the simple humility of asking other people for help who had been where I'm trying to go, regardless of what it is, not just alcohol, business, something like a podcast, anything. Someone else has been there. What did you do? And then I receive from what they have. That's humility. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. But then humility can turn into a character defect where you hide behind humility. Instead of going and doing the thing, now I'm saying, I'm just humble. I'm just teachable. I'm still learning. It's like, no, you're hiding behind that. You're hiding behind this idea. And so then it turns into a weird form of cowardice, which is a different character defect. So even the best parts of you can go on the other end of the spectrum and become a new character defect. We're like, I thought I'd just become super humble. No, you become a coward. It's time to go and do the next thing that you've been preparing for. And that was something that when that hit me recently in an area of my life, I was like, dude, what? Just a mind melt.
Yeah, you can fix. Yeah, you can fix. Yeah, it's like you can fix jealousy by never getting in relationships.
Yeah.
There you go, jealousy fixed. But but no, the middle way, right? You get in a relationship, you probably get jealous, but you work on it, and you figure out how to get where you're not jealous and you can be in a relationship.
Or you set good boundaries.
Yeah.
See, that was another hard thing in relationships, setting boundaries. Like when Ashlie and I started dating, I'm like, I don't like dating girls who have a bunch of guy friends. Just don't like it because I get jealous. And what I would give you in return is I'm not going to have a bunch of girlfriends. And Ashley's like, that sounds awesome. Sign me up for that.
Because I don't have any friends.
Joke's on you. I'm losing nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I was on Suboxone and drug court. I didn't even tell you.
Pulls up the ankle monitor.
Yeah. What's up? Had this good.
That's so good, Tim. Yeah, that's right on. Another thing too, I think I'm carrying a message. Whether I'm in AA or NA or whether I don't even 12-step recovery, I'm carrying a message.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I don't talk, I'm carrying a message. My silence will be a message. And I, that message, if I'm, and back to those surface level things though, being, not eating healthy, not doing the right things, not being terrible in relationships, not knowing how to treat another person with some respect, not treating myself with respect. That's the message I'm delivering to people. People are going to see that message.
Oh yeah.
And if I go to a meeting and I'm like, yeah, I'm 20 years, but I got a message coming along with that 20 years old. People are watching. They're paying attention to what I'm doing. Not that it's about what they think, but what kind of message am I carrying? And is my message, back to the honesty, is my message in alignment with the shit I'm spouting? Am I saying a bunch of stuff that aligns with the message I'm really carrying? Because I'm carrying a message that tells the truth no matter what.
Yep. It's a walk show, not a talk show.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what was I gonna say?
And that's why I'm digging. That's why I'm digging. I'm like, how am I treating people? How do I act? How do I look? It's like seeing myself on video is interesting. It's like seeing there's how I really look, because there's that version I think I look good, or I think I look a certain way.
And which you just made me realize something, or I just thought of this while we're sitting here, but like every single character defect at some point, whether you say you're working the steps on it or not, the solution manifests the same. You realize that like me alone, I'm not overcoming this. And so there's something bigger than me that's going to help me overcome this. And I need to submit to that process. Like this guy in the program, Dan, he lost a whole bunch of weight. I'm like, how'd you do that? He's like, easy. I just started keeping track of everything I eat. And I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, MyFitnessPal. And it's like, it's a simple math problem. You eat this many calories and you lose this amount of weight. And I'm like, whoa, really? I didn't even know that. But what do you do when you're logging in what you eat? You're literally taking an inventory.
You're being honest, yeah.
And when you're taking the inventory, you're plugging in this stuff. You have to, if you want the results, you have to be honest as you type it in. you know? And there's some.
I know you lie. Someone out there's lying to the app right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like
like,
they're
dude.
lying. Like,
And then saying this app doesn't work.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work for me.
Counting calories is
exactly.
a hoax. Some people can't lose weight counting calories. Like, no, it's a math. It really is a math.
Yeah.
It's a math
Right.
problem. It really is. You log in.
Yeah.
Then what I found out is there's an unlimited grilled chicken hack. You can literally eat unlimited grilled chicken. It's like you'll
Loophole.
never meet your calories just eating. Like you will never get there if that's all you ate.
And I know that hack. You can eat enough. Your mouth will be sore at the end of the day from eating so many pieces of grilled chicken.
Yeah, and then but guess
Swear,
what?
man.
But dude, you're eating.
Everyone's
then-
doing it.
By the end of it, though, you're like, I lost 5 pounds this week just eating straight grilled chicken all day, every
Burning
day.
calories.
It's the unlimited chicken glitch. It's a glitch in the matrix.
Oh,
It's funny. It's funny you talked about the grilled chicken because I'm like, yeah, every meal, and that's actually one of the ways that I like would describe like the like character defects process sort of. Is like one of my friends moved to Chicago from California, and I was like, "There's so many pizza places you could potentially have pizza every single day of the week or whatever." And it doesn't matter how much you love pizza, if you have it every single day, you're constantly at some point you're gonna be like, "Man, I don't want pizza." You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get sick of it, right? Like there's going to be some like side effects of doing that, and like that's essentially what it is. It's the character defects. I'm using these things. It seems like it's great at first. I'm getting what I want out of it, and then at some point the scales tip, and I'm like, man, I'm like making my life uncomfortable for me. Like I don't really want to have ice cream every meal or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? You get tired of it, you know?
Yeah, and it really is about finding that balance between, you know, you can go to the gym, but you can go to the gym so much you'd be killing yourself in there. You'd be hitting it way
You start
too hard.
tearing up
you
your
see
joints.
people in
Yeah.
there, they're in there like 7 days a week and 4 or 5 hours a day. It's like, I mean, it's too much. It's overkill.
I've heard guys really sober like, I'm worried that I'm going to get addicted to the gym. Like, that's the least of your worries right now. Go ahead.
Be too healthy and hot.
I don't want to be that guy. Like, you won't be. Just trust me.
hoping.
Go through your beefed out early recovery phase.
Yeah.
You'll get over that.
Women will say, I don't want to have big muscles. Trust me, it's not that easy to get them.
Yeah.
You got to really work your butt off to get those big
Yeah,
muscles.
I'm not trying to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah,
bro.
trust me.
It's not happening.
Easy.
It's not,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get there. But so even then, like you're keeping track of all the food you eat. You're admitting it honestly, and then what happens? You realize what your defects of character are. Oh yeah, this pizza that I'm getting every night on the way home from work is actually the thing that's making me gain weight because it's way over my calories. And then it's like an amends to myself that I've reversed that whole process. And then I get to carry the message about my fitness pal to the
Shout out
fat
my
person
fitness
that's
pal.
still suffering.
Sponsor Tim.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong process. I mean, it's a lifelong process. I never master. I never get it done. I never run out of work. It's kind of good news, really, because if I'm out of work, I'm in trouble. If I think I've
I'm
made
out
it
of
to the
work,
point
right.
where I don't need to do any more, I've done enough. I don't need to do any more work. I'm perfect the way I am. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I need that. I need that constant goalpost to be moved. I need that goalpost to constantly be moved a little further. I need another thing that I'm working on.
Yep. And if I get to the point where I don't have any more work to do, that's where you see them start to relapse. I have to constantly be in the mindset of search me. Like once I'm past a point, when I get to that point where I feel like I got all the answers, it's like
Scary.
I need to search, and I actually have like kind of test questions for myself to check and see if I'm teachable. Am I reading any new books? Are there men in my life that are allowed to speak into my life that I'm willing to listen to? Do I actually apply? I heard that teachability is you measure it in 2 categories: willingness to learn and willingness to apply what you learn. So just learning doesn't make you teachable. It's the application, those 2 combined. And they say you actually measure it overall and what you're willing to sacrifice. So if I'm not willing to give up an hour of my day for my sobriety, I'm not teachable enough to probably stay sober in the first place. You know, I'm probably just going to barely make it by. I have to be willing to learn and apply what I'm learning. And that goes with anything in my life. It's like, if I want what Kevin has, not just sobriety related, and I'm not willing to take some action, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at the very least, go find a teacher you're willing to apply what they're teaching you. Because it might, even in recovery, I tell guys that I sponsor, dude, it doesn't have to be me. Right. But if you're going to try it my way, then I'm expecting you to take these actions. Right. If you don't think the actions that I'm telling you are going to lead to sobriety, find someone else that you can trust is leading you the right way. Because I'm telling you this, I'm not sitting at home with my wife and 5 kids just desperate for your phone calls. Like, oh man, what am I going to do if this guy doesn't let me sponsor him? I'll be fine, I promise.
Yeah.
But find someone that you're willing to listen to,
Yeah. I just say a lot at meetings, that it's like, when I work the steps with a guy, we really work them. And I would tell them, I say, people would ask me to be their sponsor, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to act like I know more or anything like that. I go off what I observe though, and what I see, and I would tell them, I say, yeah, but we're really going to work the steps. Like, we are really going to fricking do it. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not going to come to meetings, stay, not drink, and say we're working the steps and maybe read us some stuff out of the book and that's it. No, we're really it's going to be painful. Mm-hmm. It's going to suck. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be very rewarding. And there's going to be so many moments you're going to be so grateful for this hard work we're going to put in on this. But we're really going to fricking do it. And I worn out a path from step 1 to step 6. I wore a path out in my own life with guys. I sponsor a guy who I meet with, and he doesn't go to meetings. He's been to meetings.
What?
He doesn't go to meetings, but
he's about to die.
But I meet him. I meet with this guy. Now. Yeah, right. Dude, he's thriving, and twice a week we meet up, and he's really working it. He's really working the steps in his life. And this is it. This is the stuff. It's because, you got a lot of people that, they quit drinking, they're coming to the meeting, but they don't have what I want. Mm-hmm. They ain't living the kind of life I want. I'm sorry. No offense to anybody who's not doing something, but I want something good out of my life.
Yeah.
A lot of different things, that... it's not just stopping using, putting a plug in the jug kind of thing. It's like, I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. I want to have money in the bank. I want to have a good situation so when I don't have a job, I can still survive for a while. I don't have to panic and run and get the first job that comes my way. I can be picky and choosy about things in my life. Yeah. Those kinds of things. That's what this step's about.
Yeah.
Both of these steps.
Do you have something pulled up, Billy?
I was just kind of looking at,
you got the 12 and 12?
No. Big book. Yeah. So really I was just kind of like looking, kind of scrolling back and forth between 6 and 7 and then 10 and 11. Mm-hmm. Cause I don't think 6 and 7 is something that you really like sit on. Like, I think like you make that admission, you say the prayer. And here's the thing, like the way that I understand it is like turning our will and our life over, like our will being our thinking. The way that I turn my thinking over is, steps 4 through 7. Like I put down all the ways that my self-centered, like godless life caused me to have resentments. I admit it to another person. I say I don't want to do this anymore, and I ask God to help me with it, right? And that's me. And the 7th step at that amen, I'm saying, all right, I'm turning my will over, right? And then my life being my actions is then taking that out in steps 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so like step 10 is essentially everything between 3 and 9, and that's why it has a lot of the same things that are on like the 4th step. And just thinking about like how as I go through the day, like this is how I'm responding to things, right? This is how I'm reacting. And then at the end of the night, going through step 11 and looking at all the ways that I messed up. So I was thinking about what you had said, where you were like, the way that I stop being jealous is to stay away from relationships. And like that's what but that's self-will. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like actually growing with God. I'm just like fearful of how it's gonna
Yeah.
make me feel, so I'm not doing this thing.
Yeah, terrible idea, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm never gonna get in a relationship again.
Well, any situations like that, and the reason why I was looking at step 11 specifically is because there's the one question for the nightly review where it says like, have we packed all we could into the stream of life, or what and I think that's like the real I was like, man, I would never have to use character defects if I just like stayed at home and never dealt with another person, right? But then I'm not actually growing with God. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm using self-will to defend my own feelings as opposed to like making my life harder and actually finding new areas where I need to bring God into, So I think 6 and 7 is like, yeah, we do that with the ones that we admitted were objectionable, and then it's like, okay, now how do I move forward with this? I clear up the past. And now I start living this new way of life, turning my life over to God is continuing on with 10 and 11, seeing how like character defects and self-will still like shows itself, in my day-to-day life, and then finding new areas to bring God into,
Yeah.
Man, and if you're having friendships or relationships, like they're gonna continue to pop up in new ways, and God will for sure show you new ways that you need to, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I think. Relationships are the best.
Oh,
They Kick Rocks, old Rick Cox, the counselor.
Yeah.
He has a lot of good little one-liners. But he said, addicts don't add character defects; they multiply in a relationship, and it's so true. But nothing has been better for my growth than my lovely wife amplifying all of the worst parts of me going through relational conflict.
I mean, I love how you brought 6 and 7 with 10 and 11, because it's like it starts in the physical, but it ends up in the spiritual, at least for me. Like it's like I just couldn't help but think like maintain with continued growth. It's like I develop certain things and then I maintain those things. But I continue to grow. It's not, there's no maintenance where it's just maintenance now. Because that means I'm, it's like I'm maintaining what I got. It's like I go to the gym. I don't have to hit it real hard in the gym to keep what I got today. That's on the physical. But then, now it's on the spiritual. It's like I got the physical stuff in alignment. Now I can really just focus on the spiritual, and it's really more about the spiritual, continued growth, spiritual for me.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's so great. I mean, God, you couldn't have made it better with 6 and 7 than 10 and 11. Like just the combination of those two things.
Because there's a lot of old timers that'll say, "Oh, you don't have around 6 and 7. That's over and done with right there." And it's like I understand what they're saying.
If you want what
I get to talking about character defects, and you drill down into them more specifically. But yeah, you're really dealing with those on a continuing basis in 10 and 11, because if you're seeking God's will for your life, then clearly you're not living in your character defects. But there's that inventory piece that you constantly have to do.
right.
So Billy, how many meetings have you hit this week, bud?
You know what? I'd be bored. So sometimes I not every day. I mean, I do 2 H&I meetings at a treatment center. Some people, I mean, I do that, and then 3.
3 meetings a week?
Yeah.
And you chaired the meeting last night?
I chair 3 book studies. So I don't know if that counts as me attending a meeting, because I'm like kind of.
I remember
doing
back when
something
I
there.
was 6 years sober.
Stop.
Back in the day, I used to really hit him like that too, Billy. Attaboy, bud. You know
Thanks, Tim.
that picture of Michael Scott with the long hair, and he's standing next to the.
Oh, yo, yeah.
That's me and you.
That's fire.
Good
That's
job.
fire.
Good job,
let's
buddy.
put that
We'll have to-
together.
I'll slap that together, Braden. You have to throw that on the podcast.
With your faces in there.
Yeah, with our faces on
Hilarious,
there.
hilarious.
That's cool. Billy, grateful to have you back out, man. It's always, you make it a lot of fun doing the podcast, so I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing you, dude.
Yeah, same, man.
Yeah, glad to have you.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Beautiful Billy.
Yeah.
That was it for, beautiful Uncle Baby Billy.
You guys gotta stop, man. It's poor guy.
I mean, I'm like, whatever.
Save some for the next
Who
podcast.
did
Y'all crazy for that?
Who did your makeup today? Golly. And your teeth are, dude, you're white. Are those real? Those are
We
veneers.
went over this. They're not.
They're not real?
They're not real.
Oh.
No, I like broke them all out and gave myself root canals when I was cracked out. So no, they're not.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's my crazy story.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
We'll say that for another time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
That's it for today's episode. 6-7.
Yep.
6-7.
Did it.
Of the Dank Recovery Podcast. Thanks
That's
for watching, and thank you to Billy, Uncle Baby Billy, Kevin, and Ashlie. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Glad you're here. If you got a story you want to share, just need someone to talk to, shoot us an email. If you want to complain, talk trash on the podcast, shoot me a message,
Hit me up.
comment. It boosts us in the algorithm. We're always happy for hate
Thumbs
mail.
down.
Yeah. Feel free to share some of your crazy addiction or recovery stories, or even like those God moments, those powerful, like, man, we want to hear those. I love it. I respond to almost every message that someone sends me on Instagram.
Same.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at Dank Recovery so you don't miss out on anything. And as always, happy birthday to all the birthdays and welcome to all the newcomers. See you next week.